Single dad mechanic fixes CEO's wheelchair-bound son's dream car. What happened next shocked all heart. Disclaimer. This story is a work of fiction created for emotional and entertainment purposes. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental. The rain tapped gently against the rusted tin roof of Ethan Cole's garage, a small, worn-down space tucked between a closed diner and an abandoned warehouse on the edge of town. Inside, the smell of oil and metal lingered in the air as Ethan wiped his hands on an old rag, exhaustion etched across his face. At 34, Ethan had already lived a lifetime of struggles. A widower and single father, his world revolved around his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Every bolt he tightened, every engine he fixed, it was all for her. "Daddy, are you almost done?" Lily's soft voice echoed from the corner where she sat coloring. "Almost, sweetheart," Ethan smiled, though the car in front of him was far from finished. "Just a little more magic." She giggled. "You always say that, because it's true," he winked. "Every car just needs a little love." But business had been slow. Bills were piling up. Some nights, Ethan skipped dinner just to make sure Lily had enough. That evening, as he prepared to close the garage, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside, completely out of place in this forgotten part of town. Ethan frowned slightly. People like that didn't come here. The door opened, and a sharply dressed woman stepped out, her heels clicking against the wet pavement. She looked around with a mix of urgency and hesitation. "Are you the mechanic?" she asked. Ethan nodded. "Depends. What's the problem?" She glanced back at the SUV before lowering her voice. "It's not the car. It's something else." A few minutes later, Ethan found himself standing outside a massive mansion overlooking the city, something straight out of a movie. He felt out of place in his oil-stained shirt and worn boots. "Wait here," the woman said. "Mr. Harrison will see you." Moments later, a tall, stern man in an expensive suit entered the room. His presence was commanding, his eyes sharp. "I'm Daniel Harrison," he said. "CEO of Harrison Automotive." Ethan raised an eyebrow. He'd heard of the company, one of the biggest luxury car manufacturers in the country. "And you brought me here, why?" Ethan asked. Daniel hesitated, something flickering in his otherwise controlled expression. "My son," he finally said. "He needs your help." Ethan followed Daniel down a long hallway and into a spacious garage that looked more like a museum. Rows of luxury cars gleamed under perfect lighting. But in the center of the room was something different. A half-built car. And beside it, in a wheelchair, sat a boy no older than 12. "This is Noah," Daniel said quietly. The boy looked up, his eyes lighting with curiosity. "You're a mechanic?" Ethan smiled. "Guilty." Noah gestured toward the unfinished car. "That's my dream car. I designed it myself." Ethan stepped closer, inspecting the build. It was rough, incomplete, but the design, it was brilliant. Unique, full of imagination. "It's not finished," Noah added, his voice dropping. "No one can get it to work the way I imagined." Daniel sighed. "We've hired top engineers, specialists. No one can figure it out." Ethan crouched beside the car, studying every detail. He could see it, the heart behind the design. This wasn't just a car. It was hope. Over the next few days, Ethan returned to the mansion after long hours at his own garage. Lily often came with him, sitting beside Noah as they talked, laughed, and became fast friends. Ethan worked tirelessly on the car, not just fixing it, but understanding it. "This isn't about performance," Ethan said one evening. "It's about feeling, isn't it?" Noah nodded. "I want to drive it, not like other people. My way." Ethan smiled. "Then we'll build it your way." Piece by piece, he redesigned parts of the car. He created custom controls adapted for Noah's limited mobility. He adjusted the seating, the steering, everything, turning the impossible into something real. Daniel watched from a distance, silent but observant. For the first time in years, he saw something he couldn't buy with money. Genuine care. Weeks later, the day finally came. The car stood complete, sleek, powerful, and unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Noah's hands trembled slightly as Ethan helped him into the driver's seat. "You ready?" Ethan asked. Noah nodded. The engine roared to life. Everyone held their breath as the car slowly moved forward, then smoothly accelerated. Noah laughed, a pure, unfiltered sound of joy that filled the entire garage. "I'm driving, Dad, I'm driving." Daniel's eyes widened, his composure breaking as tears welled up. For a moment, he wasn't a CEO. He was just a father. Later that evening, Daniel approached Ethan. "I owe you more than I can ever repay," he said. Ethan shook his head. You don't owe me anything. I just fixed a car. Daniel smiled faintly. No, you gave my son something no one else could. He paused before continuing. I want you to work for me. Lead engineer. Full benefits. A salary beyond anything you've imagined. Ethan was stunned. It was everything he'd ever needed. Everything that could change his life. But he hesitated. My garage, my daughter, it's our life, he said softly. Daniel nodded. Then bring your life with you. The next day, something unbelievable happened. Daniel Harrison personally visited Ethan's small, rundown garage. Within weeks, it was transformed into a state-of-the-art workshop, without losing its heart. Ethan didn't just get a job. He got a future. And not just for himself, but for Lily too. Months later, No's custom car became the foundation for a revolutionary new line of accessible vehicles, changing lives around the world. And at the center of it all was a simple mechanic who believed in something others couldn't see. One evening, as the sun set behind the city, Lily looked up at her father. Daddy, you really do fix everything, don't you? Ethan smiled, pulling her close. Not everything, he said. But sometimes, just enough to make a difference. And somewhere nearby, the sound of No's car echoed, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can change the world in the most unexpected ways. Heart 1500 Watt.